Hi, my name is Dale Maley. In this short video, I'm going to explain how I fixed my granddaughter's little broken chair. Now on this little chair, the bend or bowed back had come completely loose from the rest of the chair. And down at the bottom ends of the bowed back, both pieces were broke off, an inch or an inch and a half from the bottom. I'll show you a picture in a second. Now here's a photo of the two broken ends on both sides. There was actually a finishing nail driven in from the side horizontally into exactly the spot where each of these broke. Finishing nail on the left hand side and a finishing nail on the right hand side. Right away I started thinking about different ways I could fix this chair. Option one might be to make a new bent back piece for it. As far as I know, it had to be steam bent, and I can steam bend things, but I know that once you bend it into the form and let it dry, you get some spring back, and it takes trial and error to get the form right, so you end up with the right shape that you want. Not a very good option. Option two was to try gluing those broken ends back on. I actually tried that on one side, but it broke right away again. And end grain's not very strong when you're gluing, so that's probably why it broke again. So that wasn't a good option. I'm a retired engineer, so I always ask the question, why did it break in the first place? So I made this simple little sketch of the joints that broke, and you can see where the finishing nail was driven in from the side to retain that bowed or bent back piece. And both of those broke exactly where the finishing nail went through the piece. So it kind of makes sense that cracks would start at the weakest point, and that nail going through there made that the weakest point. So here's the process I came up for fixing both of the ends. So on each end I sawed off the bad end on the bowed back. Then I made an extension to replace it from 3/4 inch diameter oak dowel. I turned down the end of that dowel to 5/8 so it fit in the hole in the seat. Then I drilled 1/4 inch hole in the extension to accept a 1/4 inch oak dowel. I drilled another 1/4 inch hole in the sawed off end. Then I glued the extension and the dowel into the end. They never quite line up perfectly, so I will sand them to get a good match. So this photo shows how I made the extensions on both sides of the bent back of the chair. On the left you can see where I sawed off the old piece. And then I drilled a 1/4 inch hole in there to accept that 1/4 inch dowel shown in the center. And on the right, that's a piece of 3/4 inch oak dowel that I turned down one end to about 5/8 so it fits in the chair seat hole. It also has a hole drilled to accept the 1/4 inch dowel. This is a photo looking the other direction at the extension. You can see the piece I made on the lathe on the left, and then I drilled a 1/4 inch hole in that to accept the dowel shown in the center. Once you glue these three elements up, it makes a pretty strong joint. Next step was to do a dry fit before I glue everything up and make sure it all fits good. Here it is shown in the chair. I'm ready to glue up the two extensions and put them in. And you'll notice you never can get the 1/4 inch holes drilled exactly on the center of both pieces. So what I'll do is sand that to match, and it should look pretty good when I'm done. Now here's a photograph of the finished repair project. I gave the whole chair a new coat of red paint, and as you can see, it turned out very nice. Some closing thoughts on this project. This repair was a little tricky because of the broken ends. And I did not put the finishing nails back on each side where it originally broke. I think it'll be just fine. If it does come loose, you can always easily re-glue the joints. So my granddaughter should be pretty happy with her repaired chair. So in summary, this video explains how to repair a child's chair. Hopefully this video will help you on your projects. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe. Thank you.